Have you ever dreamed of taking the ultimate road trip along the stunning Great Ocean Road Australia? Well, get ready to uncover the top 10 unmissable stops that will make your Great Ocean Road trip truly memorable. Hi, I'm Annie, and I spent 3 days on an epic adventure traveling the Great Ocean Road, and today I want to show you my top 10 must-see places you definitely won't want to miss, taking in all the iconic spots along the stunning surf coast, the beautiful Otway rainforest, and the wild Shipwreck Coast. Lots of tourists rush through the Great Ocean Road in just a day. But please don't. There are so many beautiful places to see and fun things to do. So stick with me because I'm also going to tell you about a few spectacular, less well-known spots you're definitely not going to want to miss. And believe me, I've saved the very best till the end. So if you're ready, sit back, relax, and let's go. Driving the Great Ocean Road Australia is undoubtedly one of the most incredible road trips in the world. Stretching over 240 kilometres, around 150 miles along Victoria's coastline, it's an amazing drive taking you along cliff tops and beaches, and through lush rainforest. Torquay is the gateway to the Great Ocean Road and the start point of our trip. Around an hour's drive from Melbourne, it's home to some of Australia's best-known surf beaches and the heart of Victoria's surf culture. It's also home to some of the best-known surfwear brands such as Rip Curl and Quicksilver, and a visit to the Australian National Surfing Museum is definitely well worth it. It's full of great memorabilia on surf culture from the 1960s to the 80s, as well as Australia's Surfing Hall of Fame. Stroll along the sandy beaches or take in the views of the coast from vantage points along the Surf Coast Walk. A little further down the Great Ocean Road from Torquay is one of Australia's most famous surf beaches, Bells Beach, home of the Rip Curl Pro, one of the longest-running and most prestigious pro surfing competitions in the world. The iconic event, held across Easter weekend, has become a fixture in Victoria's sporting calendar. Over several days, thousands of spectators line the beach and cliff tops that form a natural amphitheatre around the mercurial Bells Break and nearby Winky Pop to catch the action. And if you're a film buff, you might remember Bells Beach was the location of the closing scene of the iconic surf movie Point Break. About 10 kilometres further down the coast will take you to the charming Great Ocean Road town of Anglesea, a well worth stop along the route. As well as a great beach, there's also a spectacular lookout point at Point Road Night. Anglesea is also a great place to stop for a bite to eat. Its cafes, restaurants, and fresh seafood fish and chip shops make the ideal rest stop for lunch on your first day. Or you can join a kangaroo spotting tour at the Anglesea Golf Club, home to around 300 eastern grey kangaroos, where you can watch them hopping around the fairways. Next, take the short 10-minute drive to Aireys Inlet, home to one of the most iconic symbols of the Great Ocean Road, the Split Point Lighthouse. You can climb the 136 steps to the top for a breathtaking 360-degree view of the ocean and surrounding coastline. Built in 1891, the 34-metre-high lighthouse is still operational, though it's now fully automated. You can take a self-guided tour, and a staff member will meet you at the top to answer your questions about the area's history. Also nearby is Fairhaven Beach, the longest beach along the Great Ocean Road, stretching for 10 kilometres from Split Point Lighthouse to Eastern View. Travelling onward between Aireys Inlet and Lorne, you'll drive under the Great Ocean Road Memorial Arch, which commemorates the work of the soldiers who built the road after World War I as a memorial to fellow servicemen who died in the war. The road took more than 10 years to complete. The arch is a favourite stop for all tourists, and it's a place where you can grab that iconic photo and read about the history and building of the road. Next, we're hugging the stunning coastline for around 40 minutes as we head to the beach resort of Lorne, famous for its relaxed vibe, shopping and trendy cafe strip. The surf beach here is mesmerizing, so take some time to sit and watch the waves roll in, or take a stroll up to Shelley Beach to explore the rock pools. Lorne is also a great base to make your way to some other must-see sites such as Erskine Falls, a majestic 30-metre waterfall around 10 kilometres inland. It's an easy walk from the Erskine Falls car park to the viewing platform. Or you can take the 300, often slippery steps down to its base, which takes about half an hour. Teddy's Lookout is also not to be missed when in the Lorne area. This scenic spot looking out into the Southern Ocean is one of the Great Ocean Road's best. The final stretch of day 1 is between Lorne and Apollo Bay, and it's one of the most scenic and spectacular, with incredible views across the wild beaches. And it's where you'll also find some of the less well-known about spots that I want to tell you about. If seeing a koala in the wild is high on your wish list, then you'll definitely want to take some time to visit Kennet River, around 30 minutes from Lorne. This has become known as one of Australia's koala spotting capitals, thanks to the large numbers that make their home in the blue gums that line the main road. Take a stroll around the koala walk and keep your eyes peeled for our furry friends sleeping in the trees. The shoreline near the Wye River is also a great place to spot migrating whales between May and September. Cape Patten is one of the best spots along the Great Ocean Road to see these giants of the deep as they make their journey along the coast. Apollo Bay itself has plenty of gift shops, galleries and tea houses, along with countless culinary delights to choose from. Seafood is always on the menu at the local cafes and restaurants. And if you've got time, take the scenic walk up to Mariner's Lookout that offers wonderful panoramic views over the town and the ocean. Apollo Bay is an ideal place for an overnight stay. There are plenty of options to choose from. Check out the description below to find some links that will get you started. Day 2 takes us from Apollo Bay to the western town of Port Campbell, around 96 kilometers in total. But before we get going, if you've enjoyed this video so far, then why not consider subscribing to my channel? I really appreciate your support, so if you subscribe and drop me a comment below, I'm going to send the first 15 new subscribers a special link to get 10% off Lonely Planet travel guides. A drive down the Great Ocean Road might be all about coasts and cliffs, but day 2 starts by taking us through the scenic Otway National Park, where there are plenty of opportunities to pull over and enjoy the lush rainforest greenery. A detour to the Cape Otway Lightstation along a beautiful stretch that takes you through the enchanting Otway rainforest is definitely a great idea. It's the oldest surviving lighthouse in mainland Australia and one of Australia's southernmost points. Climb to the top, 90 metres above sea level, for sublime coastal views from its observation deck. It's a sprawling complex with plenty to see, from Aboriginal cultural sites to a World War II radar bunker. Further inland, you'll also find some of the best and less well-known about spots, including Beech Forest, an enchanting forest of giant Californian redwood trees. And the spectacular Otway's waterfalls at Triplet Falls, Beauchamp Falls and Hopetoun Falls, where you can marvel from the viewpoint above or stroll through the forest ferns to see, and hear, the full force of the 30-metre falls plummeting into the stream below. And for those that want to soar through the trees, there's also the Otway Fly Treetop Adventures, where you can touch the sky on the spectacular Treetop Canopy Walkway, the longest and tallest of its type in the world. Or for the more adventurous, fly along on an exhilarating zipline tour. As we head out towards Port Campbell and the 12 Apostles, take time to stop at the Castle Cove Lookout. And for lovers of wildlife, the Great Ocean Road Wildlife Park is a must on the route from Lavers Hill. This small yet vibrant park is home to kangaroos, wallabies, wombats, dingoes, emus, and much more. Back on the Great Ocean Road, get ready for the spectacular coastline leading to Port Campbell and the famous 12 Apostles, the magnificent limestone rock stacks rising up from the Southern Ocean. Possibly the most iconic sight and enduring image for most visitors to the Great Ocean Road. But just before you get there, be sure to pull over and climb down the 86 stairs of Gibson Steps to the beach below. Here you'll get an epic close-up encounter with a couple of the rock stacks from the beach, which is backed by 70-metre high cliffs. It's absolutely amazing. But do be sure to check the tide times and ocean conditions before visiting, as the beach is not always accessible. Just a kilometre further are the 12 Apostles themselves. Jutting out from the ocean in spectacular fashion, these 45-metre tall limestone stacks were once connected to the mainland, but now stand as if they've been abandoned to the waves by the retreating headland. Today only 7 Apostles remain, but you can soak up the breathtaking views from the lookout point, take a hike along the walking trail, or even take a helicopter ride for a bird's-eye view of the world-famous natural wonder. It can get busy here, especially in summer, but my top tip is to plan your visit for around sunset. Not only for the best photographic opportunities and to beat the tour buses, but also to see little penguins returning ashore, usually around 20 to 40 minutes after sunset. But if you want to find a place just as jaw-droppingly spectacular, but without the crowds, there's another spot just a few kilometers away, I'm going to show you later, that's probably the Great Ocean Road's best hidden gem. Well, what a day! Finish the day in Port Campbell, where you'll find restaurants and cafes with views of the beach. Or take a walk out to the Port Campbell jetty and watch the waves crashing against the limestone cliffs. Take a look in the description below for my recommendations of places to stay. Our final stretch is just 55 kilometers, but this last section of the Great Ocean Road is peppered with natural rock formations and beauty stops, all worth pulling over for. The first of these is the London Arch. Once named the London Bridge, this was a double-arched rock platform linked to the mainland, which collapsed in January 1990, leaving a single arch of rock jutting out into the blue ocean. Loch Ard Gorge is another natural wonder, a little further down from the London Arch. It's named after a ship that ran aground and was wrecked here in 1878. You can walk along the sandy beach, dramatically closed in by towering sandstone cliffs, or take a short 10-minute walk to the top of the headland to the Loch Ard Wreck lookout. In fact, this whole area is known as the Shipwreck Coast and is home to more than 200 shipwrecks between Port Fairy and Cape Otway. The historic Shipwreck Trail has 25 signposted sites that overlook the cliffs where the wrecks occurred. Further along, you'll find the Grotto, a fairy tale site of a hollowed-out cave that provides yet another natural feature of ocean and rock. And just beyond Peterborough, don't miss the hauntingly beautiful Bay of Islands and the lesser-visited Bay of Martyrs. Both just as spectacular as the 12 Apostles, but without the crowds. And for yet another of my hidden gems, head a few kilometers further along the Great Ocean Road to Childers Cove. If you love the 12 Apostles, Childers Cove is definitely another one to add to your list. Perched meters away from the white sand beach are an assortment of limestone craggy cliffs standing up to 70 meters high above the ocean. Every bit as spectacular as the 12 Apostles, but without the crowds, Childers Cove might just be the crown jewel of the Great Ocean Road's secret gems. The end of our road trip takes us beyond the official end of the Great Ocean Road at Allansford and finds us in the captivating town of Warrnambool, where there's still plenty to see and do. Here you can discover the turbulent history of the Shipwreck Coast at the must-visit Flagstaff Hill Maritime Village, a reproduction of an 1870s port town. Definitely not to miss is the sound and laser show every evening, which brings to life the story of the infamous Loch Ard shipwreck of 1878. And if you're visiting between June and September, head down to Logan's Beach and the whale viewing platform for the chance to spot migrating whales. It's home to Victoria's whale nursery, where female southern right whales return for a few weeks to give birth. And there's still plenty more to do if you want to extend your trip. Like taking a trip to Tower Hill, Victoria's largest dormant volcano, where you can learn about its significance to local Indigenous people, take a bush tour, and see the lake inside the crater. Or follow the route further still to Port Fairy, and as far as Portland, one of Victoria's premier whale watching destinations. Here southern right whales are often visible off the coast from Cape Bridgewater to Narrawong. If you're heading back to Melbourne at the end of your trip, you can either retrace your route along the Great Ocean Road, or you can head back inland towards the Grampians National Park and tick off some of the Grampians must-do sites like Barocca Lookout, the Balconies, and Mackenzie Falls. And if you're planning on spending more time in Victoria after your Great Ocean Road trip, then check out this video here where I show you some of the other spectacular places you'll definitely want to include in your holiday. Or my Australia Places playlist for videos about other amazing places to visit in Australia. With that said, don't forget to subscribe and comment to get your 10% Lonely Planet discount. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.